Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever part of the world that you are following us. My name is Gaspar. Welcome to Reconciliation in Christ Ministry on our ongoing basic Bible study on the doctrine of the Bible, also known as bibliology. We already started this, should be our fourth video of this exciting series. So if this is your first time, I recommend that you check out our previous videos so that you know where we've been, and then you can keep track with us. And for this today's episode, I am not going to spend much time to review everything that we have studied so far, but we are in the section where we are discussing about how God is revealed. So I'm going to bring up my slide here, and then we can pick up where we left off. So we say God has revealed himself in different ways in the Bible. What we saw last time was general revelation, that the creation itself testify that there must be a God, and heaven and earth proclaim the glory of God. That's the testimony of the Bible. So today we are going to see a different type of revelation, and we call it special revelation. In the umbrella of special revelation, there are about three to five part of it. So in this video, I'm just going to cover about three part in the special revelation category. The first part will be talking about theophany. The second one will be talking about vision, and the third one will be talking about dreams. So let's jump into our presentation. So, in a special revelation, God, in his full glory, according to the testimony of the Bible, God cannot be seen. So, therefore, God has decided in his own sovereignty to be seen in a different way. And one of those ways we call it theophany. So, a theophany then is a manifestation of deity. So as you can see on my screen, I have picked about five examples how God revealed himself in this process, which we call theophany. You can see in Genesis, twice in Exodus, and one in First Kings, and also in Job. So I'm just going to bring my Bible screen here, and we can read a little bit how God did that. In Genesis, he revealed himself to Jacob. Apparently, Jacob wrestled with God. And it is really hard to think that a person like Jacob can actually literally wrestle with God, the God that created him. And we can't even fathom to think that. But God has decided to take a shape and form of man and wrestled with this man named Jacob. We also have seen in Exodus, I'm going to bring up my screen here so we can quickly read in Exodus chapter 13, verse 21, and I also have chapter 33 and 9, pretty much the same story here. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of cloud to lead them along the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, that they might travel by day and by night. The pillar of the cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night did not depart from before the people. And we have a 33:9. When Moses entered the tent, the pillar of the cloud will descend and stand at the entrance of the tent, and the Lord will speak with Moses. In here, we can see God moving in a form of theophany, that in the form of pillar of fire and cloud, that is a representation of God amongst the people. So if we go in First King, everyone knows this story here, when Elijah decided to go summon God because he put on a show in the book of First King, and things didn't turn out the way he actually wanted them to turn out. So he decided to, tell God to kill him. So God decided to put on some show for him, and he saw all the earthquakes and the fire and all of that, and God was not in it. But the Lord was not in the fire, and after the fire, the sound of a low whisper. So God spoke to Elijah through the sound of whisper. And another thing that we can notice in here, Job, I didn't put it on my screen here. Uh, when God appeared to Job in the form of whirlwind, you can see that God did manifest himself in different ways. So we call this special revelation, specifically theophany. I'm going to move to our next slide. We are going to be talking about vision. Vision is one way that God make himself known to his creation. You can see in my screen there is countless visions in the Bible. I just picked about four of them just for an illustration. And keep in mind, this is not an exhaustive Bible study on the doctrine of the Bible, but rather we just want to give you some overview to equip you so that you are ready to defend your faith. And that is the whole point. So we have Genesis 15, verse 1, when God appeared to Abraham. We also have Luke in chapter 1, verse 22, when the angel of God appeared to Zechariah. We also have Acts 10:9 to 15, when Peter had a vision. And the most notorious one that we all know is in the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 9 to 18, when John had a vision about the things to come that we are waiting for. So let me bring back my screen here. We can read some of this. Let's read Acts 10 and 9. So the next day, as they were on the journey and approaching the city, Peter went up on the housetop about the 6th hour to pray. And he became hungry, wanted something to eat. But while they were preparing it, he fell into a trance and saw the heavens opened, and something like a great sheet descending, being let down by its corners upon the earth. 12. In it were all kinds of animals and reptiles and birds of the air. And there came a voice to him, "Rise, Peter, kill and eat." But Peter said, "By no means, Lord, for I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean." And the voice came to him again the second time, "What God has made clean, do not call common." Peter having an encounter with God himself, and God talked to him through vision. The message on this vision is basically telling Peter that, hey, salvation is not only for the Jews, the Gentile also are part of the covenant of God. And that is the message there. So basically, we can see that God does talk to people, reveal himself to people in a special way, which we call vision. So the last category that I want to cover here, it will be dreams. So believe it or not, this is actually one of the most common way that God spoke to people in the past. How he revealed himself, it was mostly through dreams. So I have highlighted about three notorious dreams that we all know about: the dream of Joseph, Pharaoh's dream, and the dream of the king Nebuchadnezzar. So I'm gonna bring that on the screen quickly to tell you a little bit about this dream, so that you see how God can communicate to people. Instead of me reading it here, as I say that you may already be familiar with this, I can just quickly summarize. So in the story of the dream that Joseph had, he basically saw a dream where God was going to elevate him and his brothers were going to bow down to him. His brother did not like that. Obviously, his dad also didn't like the dream. And long story short, we found Joseph being sold. But that dream came from God. And as Joseph was sold, it was a plan of God to preserve the whole nation. If you read in Genesis 49 to 51, when Joseph himself says that what you meant for evil, the fact that you sold me because of the dream that I had, and that dream came from God, you meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. And that's one way God does communicate to people, through dreams. The second dream we have is the dream of Pharaoh, one of the most popular dream, where Pharaoh dreamed about the 7 years of famine and the 7 years of abundance. And he could not understand the interpretation of the dream, but it was God's message to Pharaoh to let him know what was about to take place. The last one is the dream of King Nebuchadnezzar, as we already know, when God wanted to let the king know about the event that were to take place in the latter day, and that is the dream of the statue, where he dreamed about the statue, which is literally the story of the empire, the power in the world, from Babylon, Persia, the Greek Empire, and the Roman Empire, as we know about the interpretation of the dream according to the book of Daniel. If you read, you will understand. So, friend, there you have it. This is one of the ways that God uses to reveal Himself to the people. We call it special revelation. Just to recap what we have covered here so far, we learned that God in the special revelation used to reveal Himself through a theophany, God manifesting Himself in different shape or form, either the whirlwind in Job, or the pillar of fire or the cloud in the book of Exodus. We also learned that God does reveal Himself through vision to communicate, and dreams, and the things that is to come. So there you have it. If you are blessed again by any shape or form by our content, I just want to ask you a small favor. If you can consider subscribe and share this message with friends and family, and I look forward to see you in the second part of the section that we call how God has revealed Himself in a special way. God bless you. I look forward to see you in our next video.